everyone. The Wahiawā-Whitmore Village Neighborhood Board number 26 is called to order.
Thank you.
Perfect timing. Again, thank you everyone for being here locally here in our meeting room and also virtually. Thank you. And I hope everyone is off to a good start in the year 2026. So first on our agenda, we also want to welcome everyone and hope everyone has a good 2026. So thank you for being here and starting your year off together as community. Mahalo. So we're going to start off with our first responder monthly reports with the fire department. No more. Oh, I saw that. No more. Okay, calling our HPD Police Department.
Hello, everyone. Lieutenant Romel Baisa from the Honolulu Police Department, Wahiawā Police Station. Reporting for statistics for the Wahiawā area from December 24th till January 24th, 2026. We'd had one assault case, 9 burglary cases. Those are break-ins to the homes. We had 48 motor vehicle collisions. 6 of them are the major ones that include the cars being towed. We had 1 robbery case, 5 car break-ins, and 1,256 calls for service. A little bit lower actually than normal. Safety tip for the month: pedestrian safety, see and be seen. When crossing the street, make sure that the driver sees you before crossing. Try making eye contact with them and even give the shaka, try giving the shaka. That way they know that you're there and they can see you. We've already had, I think, 4 fatalities in the year. 3 of them are pedestrians. So again, just emphasizing the safety when you guys are crossing the street. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Yes, go ahead.
Hi, good evening.
Hi.
The 3 pedestrian casualties, they're not within Wahiawā,
No.
this area. It's just island-wide or statewide.
Correct. Island-wide. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Officer Baisa. And we appreciate all your hard work and that of your team over the holidays, keeping us
Thank you.
safe. And as we go into 2026, we wish you guys the best. And if there's anything that we can do as a community, please feel free to reach out to any one of us. We're happy to help you folks.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Okay, from the community, any questions or concerns for HPD? Okay, and virtually, any questions or concerns for HPD? Okay. You got an early pass.
Thank you. Oh, it's easy today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have a question? Okay. Do you want to come up to the microphone? You want to come to the? Oh, okay. Thank you, Jeff. I think HPD, you need to wait. I think is it? You're gonna. Oh, it's okay. Okay. Could you come up? Okay, but you can still give the question to someone. No, that's giving an echo. That's why she's bringing it back. Earmuff.
Alessia Au, resident Wahiawā. I understand that there are homeless encamped on this park grounds, and that the office had called many times, and the police come up, but they don't. They don't have the homeless leave. Sometimes they do, but a lot of times they don't. So some of us are just trying to understand what the situation is. And the hard part is that there's nobody here at night. And so they come back within an hour after the police leave. So we just wanted to know about that.
Thank you. So I'm assuming you're talking about after hours. So if it's after hours, I'm gonna have the off even during the day. Okay, yeah, during the day it's a little bit harder for us because when the park is open, we cannot really kick anybody out. Yeah, but you're talking about after hours or during the day? It's during the day. Yeah, no, it's a little bit harder for us to enforce certain things. If there are criminal items that they commit, criminal crimes that they commit, then we can address those. Otherwise, yeah, just the park being open is, yeah, we can't kick them out for that. Sorry. Yeah, but if it's happening overnight, I'll let our officers know. Sergeant John Yoshioka is here. He's in charge of Wahiawā today, so I'll let him know. And then, yeah, he'll let his officers know.
Okay. And we have another question. Go ahead.
Really quick question.
Go
Who
ahead.
controls the centralized traffic light? Is it the city or the state?
Oh, depends where it is. I'm not sure.
On Willikina Drive, that's state
Wil-
actually road.
Willikina State, so it would be
So the
Department
state
of-
would be the
Department
one.
of
Okay,
Transportation.
thank you.
Yeah.
And-
If it's city as DTS, same thing. Transportation departments, but yeah, one is city and one is state. Yeah.
And I just received a text for a quick question.
Uh-huh.
Wanted to know that since in the Kapolei area that they've been addressing all the youngsters who ride the bikes and all that, and they've been tagged, is Wahiawā doing anything for the riders here?
Yes, we actually have officers that do special projects to take care of a lot of traffic enforcement. So including the e-bikes, I'm assuming you're pertaining to, yeah, e-bikes and the younger bikers without helmets and stuff like that. Yeah.
So when you do that kind of a task force, is it mainly focusing on not catching, but or stopping the youngsters, or is it talking to the parents, or is it a PTA situation? How do you get to those situations?
Right. So it depends what it is. So most of the time our teams do traffic enforcement. So if they happen to see the children riding e-bikes, they would talk to the children first. They will try to get in touch with the parents, and then depends. Sometimes citations warranted. Sometimes just talking to the kids and talking to the parents is good enough. Yeah.
Do you guys keep track of that? Like you spoke to them and there's a record that we spoke to you before.
They submit their statistics
Yeah.
after the end of their shift. As far as keeping track of each specific citation, I don't think we have that because it's all compiled under numbers. It's mostly
Oh, I
numbers.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you
Yeah.
very much. Oh,
You're welcome.
stand by.
And is that data available on the HPD website? Because I do know that we can access crime data and things of that nature on the HPD website.
Not this particular one. So the citations, in fact, if we look at the data, it only gives us citations for the whole district, which includes Mililani, Wahiawā, and the North Shore. It does not give us specific areas where the citations were given. No.
I'm sorry. So not like the street. You mean not so you don't your records don't indicate at least the street it was on or the incident or
As
anything?
far as data tracking, no, we do not. Yeah. We would have to look at each person's citation to read where the incident occurred.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is a far out question then. So if we wanted to help you guys get more funding, get more positions, how as a community can we help you? Because I do know that the e-bikes and the guys that ride the mopeds that are souped up, I do know that that is a problem in Wahiawā. So how can we as a community provide that support to you folks to maybe get more officers or more funding for task force like this?
I'm not sure if the officers are the number of officers being on the streets, the number of task force we do, and the number of projects we do is mainly the problem. The main problem I think is the children themselves, meaning the parents. We might need to get them involved because the police can be there, here and there, but they're not everywhere, right? So when we see the children, we stop them, we talk stories with them. And that's just one person or two people or three people. As far as the entire school or the district, a little bit hard for us. So I think the the parents need to be involved, the schools even, yeah, as far as educating the young adults or the teens riding the e-bikes and things.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, HPD. Any other questions? Last call. Okay, thank you
Thank you.
very much. Okay, everyone, we're going to move on to item 3, our update report on the Queens Medical Center in Wahiawā. And tonight, we're very fortunate to have Michael Holmberg and Diana Motley, Director of Nursing, here to give us an update.
Hello, good evening. Mike Holmberg, Director of Security and Facilities at Wahiawā and West. And this is Diana Motley, Director of Emergency Services at Wahiawā. So what I handed to you is the renderings of our ED expansion, is which what I'm going to talk to you about. So on January 13th, we opened our temporary waiting room, temporary triage room, and new temporary entrance to the emergency department. To accommodate this, we updated our parking lot layout, refreshed striping on a safer traffic flow, repainted portions of the building to make it more visible for the public when they come to Wahiawā Emergency Department. As you can tell, construction barricades along Kilani Avenue is up, included new signage, wayfinding signage. It will, in the next week, day or two, include lighting for the sidewalk so that that sidewalk is not dark.
Okay, thank you. And so the things we want you all to be sure of or know that we are still 24/7 open to you with all the amenities and everything that we had prior to this happening. Our ambulances, our EMT crews are all aware of this move, and they've all been educated, and they've all been dropping off patients just fine. We still have the ADA entrances for anybody that may need them, so don't worry about that. And then we also have wayfinding signs up and everything. So if you pass by Wahiawā, you'll see a lot of the emergency signs directing you where to go and where to enter the hospital.
Any questions?
Yep, go ahead.
So just so I understand, is the new entrance to the waiting room on street level? Is that it?
Yes,
Okay.
it goes out about from the current, if you obviously you've been to Wahiawā, the current steps and that cement, that outdoor
Yeah.
waiting area, it goes about 30 feet towards down Kilani Avenue.
So they won't be able to drive through that area.
You still will be. It actually ends up being a drop-off point. It's just further out.
Cool.
So the pictures you're looking at, the first set of pictures is the waiting room, the new ED registration and lobby. Then the second page has the additional, I think it's 12 rooms that we're expanding up.
Wow. So total number of rooms you'll end up with is,
25
good Lord. Okay.
plus
Thank you.
the current old rooms. So we go from 12 to 25. Any other questions?
I do have a question actually, and you probably will have to come back to next month's meeting to bring an update. But I wanted to know, recently I've been contacted by multiple community members who are just given notice about Queens terminating their contract with Humana on March 16, 2026. So if you folks could find out if there are any other plans that are being terminated by Queens, their contracts are being terminated with the Queens healthcare system as of March 16, 2026, so that we can help our community members to make other plans. Because I had, in the last 6 days, I had 3 families contacting me because they were scared. They didn't know what to do, and there was nobody at Queens that would help them.
Okay.
So we were told that Queens has sent out notices to those members that have Humana, and they're going to terminate their contract on March 16th.
That's a medical coverage.
Correct.
Okay. We'll
So
take
we'd
it.
like to know if there are any other plans that Queens will be terminating their contracts with anytime in the near future. We've got at least one more board meeting before March 16th. And I think that next meeting at Whitmore would be very helpful for you to share that information, or for Queens to share that information about which plans they're terminating their contracts with.
We'll do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. And that is a issue going on. I think there are other things going on with Queens as well with the potential merger, right, with HMSA. So there are a lot of other, like TJ was saying, I think we're all getting, our board members are getting different kind of questions. So if I can pencil you in for next month again, if you can give us updates, not only on the Humana, but also the HMSA situation, because that will have
Okay,
a large impact.
we'll take it back.
Yeah,
Not a problem.
thank you very much. Any other questions from the, oh, I have Ethan. Ethan, our board member online.
Hello. Before I ask my question, I just wanted to state that I recently had the opportunity to utilize the emergency services at the Wahiawā hospital, now operated by Queens, and I was very impressed with the quality of the services. The interior especially struck me as very modern and clean, and I just generally had a very good experience. As far as my question is concerned, I too have had community outreach, mainly from the nursing staff that work at the hospital, and they've claimed that they haven't been able to become part of the broader nurses union the way they probably would have been able to at other Queen installations, and they're frustrated with the lack of transparency there and some of the obstacles they feel have been put in their path towards joining the broader union. So I was curious as to whether or not any clarity on that could be provided for those nurses who work here in Wahiawā in their emergency room and at that hospital. Thank you.
So thank you for your question. So Wahiawā, right now, the nurses are involved in our negotiations right now with HNA, which is the same union that Mana and West use. So there's negotiations going on right now. They have union representatives in the Wahiawā nurses. There are representatives that are sitting on the negotiations for that. So I'm not sure who's saying that they're not, because we're in the whole negotiation part right now, which is what West did last year when we renegotiated, and Mana did prior to that. So I'm not sure what you're hearing, because we were in the middle of negotiations right now.
Yeah, this is, I may,
Go ahead, Joe.
this neighborhood board is not the proper venue for labor negotiations. So I just don't want to getting involved in that.
Understood. And thank you for that clarification, Joe, or the reminder. Thank you. Ethan, any other questions? Okay. Any other questions from board members? From the community, any questions for Wahiawā General Hospital? You guys are getting all, sorry, getting all good. Queens, I know, my apologies. Queens are going a little, I'm sorry. Any questions? Virtually, any questions? Okay, I do want to ask one other question I got texted is, what is the sign that says 801 on it?
That's actually Kiewit. That's the old thrift shop.
Yeah, it is,
And that's the existing address for that building. So we had leased that out to Kiewit so that they're supporting the construction across the street at Center Street.
Okay, so that's just their landmark for where they're located?
Yeah, because they get deliveries. Their office staff is there.
Yeah,
That's building the new area.
okay, got it. Thank you very much for that. Okay, having no other questions? Okay, thank you very much, and we'll pencil you in for next month, and
problem.
it'll be at Whitmore.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to item 4 on our agenda, calling up Nicole from Congressman Tokuda's office. Nicole? No. Okay, we're gonna move down, and if you come back on, Nicole, please wave. Okay, going on to our U.S. Army, we have First Lieutenant Julia Go.
Hi, everyone. U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii is holding their next hiring fair on February 9th at the Hilamano Military Reservation Training Room. That's from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Small arms blank fire out at East Range will continue for the rest of this week. And then until Wednesday, you might hear some mortar training that's going on. During the month of April, the Army will be conducting prescribed burns on the Schofield Barracks training range. The primary dates right now are April 13th through the 19th. If the conditions are not set for that, we'll push out the alternative dates. We've been working Multiple personnel and assets from the Army are supporting the prescribed burn: firefighters, aviators, engineers, range and safety officers, natural and cultural resource specialists, explosive ordnance disposal personnel, law enforcement personnel, and public affairs personnel. Operations will only take place during daylight hours, and the Army wildland firefighters will remain on site each night to monitor the area. If you have any concerns, please call our new community concern line at 808-787-1528. And then I have the answers to some of the questions that were asked over the past few months. There was a question about how the MPs were going to enforce the e-bikes with the schools that are on post. The schools on Schofield Barracks and Wheeler Army Airfield are within the jurisdiction of the Hawaii Department of Education rules established regarding e-bikes. The schools on the installations are very sensitive to military police enforcing rules. Our military police respect that the faculty would like to enforce rules within school grounds, and the schools have all policies and can implement those policies through faculty, parents, and students. There was a question about the rhino beetles and the palm trees on Wheeler. The Director of Public Works for U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii has been treating the palm trees on Wheeler with trunk injections. The effectiveness of this treatment depends on the overall health of the palm tree. So some have been lost. The treatment just didn't work in time. We're actually partnered right now with the University of Hawaii, and we're collaborating to support ongoing monitoring, observations, and treatment methods currently under development to help address and ultimately eradicate the rhino beetles. And then there was a question about the the Combat Aviation Brigade during this past dry season. So the 25th Combat Aviation Brigade flew approximately 311.5 hours in direct support of wildfire firefighting efforts. This includes water drop and aerial support missions coordinated with local and state partners. And that's all I have. Are there any questions?
Board members, any questions? Go ahead, June.
You're probably not aware of this, but I don't know if coordination is made after closing of a gate, like Macomb Gate is closed right now,
Yes.
but I don't know if anybody contacted the state to adjust that traffic light out in front of it.
I can definitely find that out. Right now, the Macomb Gate is operating from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. in the morning, and then 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. in the afternoon. But I know during the day that could be if you're sitting at the red light, but no one's going.
Yeah, no one's
that
going
way.
out. I know I just got the answer from the HPD that particular light is controlled by the state. I thought it was one, either city or state, but so it depends on the road. But if I will have them pursue it too, if they are aware that it's not open during most of the day.
Yes, I'll take that back.
And, because not just retirees, it affects service members too, and the general public, because they're trying to go to North Shore.
Yes.
And they look, well, nobody's coming out, but the light is red.
Mhm.
So, and I will bring it up to the state people too. Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Questions from the community? Yes.
Aloha, Nani Brown here. So I'm just curious, what is the specific poison and what evidence or otherwise research do we have regarding the long-term and short-term effects for not only the palm tree itself, but possible food systems and animal and wildlife alike?
I personally don't know, but I will reach out and find out what specific insecticide that they inject, and that would open up the door to what short-term, long-term effects that could possibly come from that. Right now, the goal of the insecticide is just to stop the spread of the rhino beetles.
I'm sorry, excuse me, caller Mike, can you come up to the mic, please? Thank you so much.
I understand that, but we don't have any evidence to state that, you know, this specific treatment will not affect other ecosystems. We have a very delicate ecosystem here in Hawaii. And so I get it. You know, eradicating the rhino beetle should have been top of priority years ago when it arrived. However, at this point, rushing into a solution without knowing the long-term effects that can affect other endemic and endangered species, it seems like maybe we'd want to try something. We have a number of organic solutions. Daniel Anthony and Mr. Lance Steam, they're using steam and other organic means that will not harm surrounding ecosystems and actually work with the land. And in that way, we can be sure that it won't harm other species.
When I bring the question back, I will include all of that.
And if I'd like to just dovetail off of that, because once we're talking about the CRB and we're talking about, I know we're talking about Schofield, but island-wide, you know, it is an issue, right? And so I think that if you're going to start looking at insecticides and everything else, then that would be, if we're going to be helping to manage that question, you know, if we do it through the neighborhood board or whatnot, then we would actually ask for people to come in and, you know, whether they're inspectors, but to find out what they're using and what can and cannot be used so that we can all hear what the potential is, you know, and we just need to be careful because it's been going on for years now. It's not just something that happened yesterday. We can all see the bullhead coconut trees. There's nothing on them. So, so if you want, that's something we can look on in the coming months to organize some kind of discussion on that, because that's a big discussion. And I would hate to just limit it to the military because it's all over the island. Yeah. Okay. Mahalo for that. Any other questions for Lieutenant? Okay, go ahead.
Hi, good evening. I just was remembering, so I've been driving onto Schofield Barracks through the Ayers Gate to go to Daniel K. Elementary in the morning when that rush hour and everyone's kind of driving up. What I've noticed twice when I was driving in, so I was going kind of this back way and going up Willikina towards town, is that people driving into Ayers Gate towards the North Shore are doing quick U-turns by the kind of the, what is that called? It was like the where you dump the rubbish, and whipping U-turns and trying to come by the convenience center and whipping around to beat the light. So, and then they go through the gate. So I know that there are people who are accessing Schofield. And it's pretty dangerous. So you're like kind of waiting, and what they'll do is they'll kind of drive through the light, and then instead of waiting in that long line, you know, on Willikina, they'll whip around. So I don't know, you just, you know, what authority you have, but just a reminder that it felt super dangerous that people were illegally U-turning right there.
I'll get with you after.
But then going on the base, right? Yeah.
But
I'll
that-
get with
that
you
you-
after just to see like where on the map you're specifically.
Yeah, I know. I had to like
about.
Google it too to get
I
the
have
correct
that.
names.
I can't picture what you're saying.
Me too. I'm like coconut tree past that. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. But this is the Ayers Gate, right? So this gate.
I know,
too.
I could describe it better for
Thank you, Jim.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
It's McNair Gate, the last one.
Okay.
And then there's the convenience center for the city and county to the left after that.
Like go like if you would go this way.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you go right, you go back to Wahiawā.
Yes.
If you go straight, you go to Wailua. And if you make that left, you go into the convenience center.
Okay.
So what she's saying is that they're making that left turn.
Because they don't want to wait in the line.
Yeah, basically, yes.
Okay.
That's what it is. But, you know, Aaron, for just for your reference, that modifications of the road and stuff like that is a state responsibility, not the military.
But for
and
sure.
Actually, the state should modify the entrance because everybody's backed up, and they're backing up onto the regular road. So Yeah.
No, I agree, but it's just those people entering the base too are people with base access. So,
Right.
it's kind of both ways that,
And awareness.
an awareness that
Thank-
that's not the right way to do it. Although,
Right. Yeah, it's not. But, and all I'm saying is that the modifications of the road is actually a state responsibility.
okay. Oh,
Okay.
if DOT comes, I'll bring it up.
We'll
Thank you.
bring it up when we have state representatives.
Okay, so I'm just gonna dovetail off that because even though it is a state issue, the road is trafficked or monitored by HPD. So the issue is they're making an illegal U-turn, then we should have brought that up earlier with HPD so that they can maybe do a watch or something, but
Are they doing a U-turn or they're
That's-
just making a turn into the dump?
and then U-turn, yeah.
Yeah, and then driving out, right? So technically, there's not illegal
Well,
U-turn,
it-
but
Well, that's why it could be a HPD thing, but that's the only way you're gonna have people stop doing that. If nothing's gonna stop them from doing that, then it'll continue. But once you show a presence, like with any other issue, it might help that concern.
Perfect. Thank you. It was just your presence here reminded me of it. So thanks for listening.
Okay, and before, any other questions from,
Can I say something?
yeah, Sylvia, stand actually, because Representative is waiting to ask a question as well before you. I'm so sorry, stand by. Anybody else in the community? Okay, go ahead.
Come up to the
Yeah, the microphone, thank you.
Do you want me to go or Sylvia?
Well,
Oh,
she was
okay.
also
Okay.
waiting. And please say your name, state your name for us.
Noelani DeVincent. I wanted to piggyback on what she was saying because we have military access, but people are turning not in the dump, but if they're coming from going southbound, then the people who are going northbound are turning into the on-ramp that is onto Schofield. So that's illegal. Yeah. So I just wanted to, because we always see that, because that light is the longest light in the world. So everybody tries to bypass it. And so when you see like, oh, your turn, you cannot turn anymore. Everybody's passing it and not even going to the dump, not even making like a legal turn, but going like that onto that gate. So I just wanted to clarify that's what we see.
Yeah. Thank you, Noelani. That was perfect explanation. Okay, any other questions? Because we do have 2 virtual questions coming in. So are we good here in the community here? Okay. And then we're gonna go to Representative Caruso.
Yeah, real quick, I just want to put this to ping something for you folks. In November, we did a site visit. We went up through Lightning Academy. We're trying to establish an evacuation route for in our disaster preparedness work for Upper Wahiawā. And we hope to be able to go through Lightning Academy and go through the back and come out, down on right across from Schofield Barracks. But I am still waiting, and I was told I would have a confirmation by the end of November. I'm still waiting for a confirmation that the study of that bridge has been completed and that it can handle that traffic. So if you could just put that on your agenda, ask about that and report back at the next meeting, I'd really appreciate it.
Yes. I can
Thank
do
you.
that.
Thank you. Thank you, Representative. And we also have our board member, Sylvia.
Okay, yeah, thank you. And I don't mean to belabor the point, so I'll make it quick. I go through that gate every morning between 6 and 6:30. Part of the problem, and this is for the Army, is your coning process. The way the cones are set up, they're not moved until 6:30. So people are not just going into the dump and turning around. They're turning left, coming from Wahiawā towards the North Shore. They're turning left illegally on a red light. And many people do it. And they're going up where the other cars are coming down, because it's blocked up at the gate. You cannot come out of Schofield at that time until about 6:30 or so, 6:20. But if you go early, you have to, go to school early or something. There's all kinds of very, very dangerous issues there. And it's a disaster waiting to happen. I've mentioned it before to the guards, but I've also seen HPD presence there. And when there's an HPD presence, nobody does anything. Wrong.
Exactly.
They follow the rules. So it just kind of tells you, you know, we don't want anybody to get hurt. And these cars are coming fast. And it's dark and the lights, and when it's raining, there's glare and everything. It's just a matter of time before somebody gets really hurt there. So I just want to reiterate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue, and thank you, everyone. So if it's okay with everyone, I'm going to follow with HPD, the officers who are here, the major that was here tonight. I'll give them a call tomorrow to ask if we can schedule something with Schofield, if you don't mind, Lieutenant, and we'll kind of work something out where we can do some kind of a, you know,
Town hall
yeah.
kind of thing.
Well, not that, just if we can just start moving on this, because obviously it's really a safety issue, not just people rushing, but it is a safety issue. And I'm gonna tap on a couple of people because I just want to know, you know, like, is it, Sylvia was saying it's right between 6 and 6:30. Is that truly the time that this happens, or is it a bigger window? But it lasts till about 6:30, only half an hour, or no, till 8. So like 6:30 to 8-ish, because I'm going to ask them if they can send some cruisers out there. So 6:30 to 8 roughly.
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, I
I'm
heard you.
Yeah, sorry. It's earlier than that. At about 6:20, 6:25, the soldiers come down and they move the cones so traffic can flow into Schofield and traffic can come out of Schofield. And so the necessity to make that illegal left turn on a red light, there's not a need for that anymore, even though the light is long. But people continue to go northbound and turn around at the dump and then come back and then make that right turn into Schofield. That's very common. And you know, a lot of it are big trucks. So I'm assuming they're construction workers and people that have to be at work by 6:30 or 7. They're in a rush, but this is a prime time where it's necessary to either change the cones earlier or get HPD out there to negotiate traffic to get people in a faster rate. Sorry.
Right. Thank you. No, thank you, Sylvia. But that's what I'm asking, like, what is the window? So when I talk to HPD tomorrow, is it from 6 to 8? Is it from 5 a.m., 6? I mean,
I would
you're
say
there.
6 to 8. 6 to 8.
So 6 a.m. So the cones should be moved by 6 a.m. or can they arrive there and move the cones at 6 a.m.?
Well, the soldiers move at about 6:20. If they move it at 6 a.m., it'd be a lot easier.
Okay, because that's what I'm asking for, because when we make this request, I want to be sure that we're telling them they need to move the cones away at whatever time it is. Because it's like opening a store, opening a market. You know, if you go to work, what time do you open that store so it's ready
Yeah.
for the public to come? So that's what we want the public to be able to get in. So what time do we need to move the cones? Is it 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody else? Is that
Yes,
pretty much
yes.
it? All right, okay, good to go.
Fair.
Stand
Fair.
by.
I'd
Sure,
like to just ask, you mentioned the town hall. If the Army or the Army garrison would like to host a town hall around this subject and any other matters that we may have in our community, I'd be happy to attend with bells on.
May I suggest that we form a committee? Because we're going to be involving HPD, the garrison, the division, and the Wahiawā community. Not only just the Wahiawā community, it's also North Shore is involved and everybody else that goes to the North Shore and
Correct.
through here.
Yeah, so
So
before
maybe we should get together with all parties concerned, state, even city,
Right.
because HPD, and tackle this problem.
right.
Because one solution may also be open up the Macomb Gate, which is currently closed most of the time. They used to be open from the morning until 1, but now it's not, and that's what's causing that traffic light problem where you got to stop when no cars are going out right now. And so the state needs to get involved because it involves the traffic lights and everything. And so it's not just between two parties, it's between all the parties concerned.
Understood. And that's what we usually do, June, is we start off with just asking the questions and then we figure out
Yeah.
who needs to be there to have that meeting to make the plan. So yeah, so let me start tomorrow at HPD and we'll go from there.
Yeah,
because
Department of Transportation, everybody.
yeah, and then DOT can talk to Ed or what and all that kind of stuff, and we'll see where we can go from there. Go ahead, Joe.
As transportation chair, I'd like to be involved in this.
We will get back to you. No, there is no question. We always go to the right committees. We always have good committee members. Okay. So are we done here for the community? Wait, yeah, any other questions virtually? Okay, are we good? Okay, thank you very much, Lieutenant. We'll be in touch tomorrow. I'll give you a call.
Happy New Year.
Thank you, everyone. Mahalo, everyone, for the very lively discussion and very good discussion, because I think obviously the frustration is rising. So thank you very much. And that's what this neighborhood board is about. That's what we do. We want to hear from you so we can take action in the right way, not going crazy, but just trying to figure out how to get things done. Okay, very good. So we are now moving on to our Navy. Do we have our Navy? Daniel Sanford? I don't see him online either. No. Okay, moving on to our government agencies, our Board of Water Supply, Nicole. Really? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, thank you. Then we're going to move down to Fawn, State Department of Transportation. I don't see her though. Oh, wow. I guess it must be a busy weekend. Okay, then we're going to move on to item 5 on our agenda, residents' concerns and community announcements. Any residents' concerns or community announcements? Open mic, so please go up to the mic. Make sure you state your name and your company or your organization, and we'll go from there. Yes, go ahead.
So I'd like to just thank everyone out there. While I am part of the neighborhood board, I am also a part of this community. And I am so happy to see new faces here tonight. And I also see a few new ones online. So if you want to know and learn more about the process that we as the neighborhood board go through, what we must abide by, if you go to the website, I think it's NCO. What is the website?
Honolulu.gov/NCO.
Yeah, so if you go on the honolulu.gov/NCO, you will learn about things like the Sunshine Law that we all have to do yearly training on. You'll learn about how to get an item on the agenda, but there's a lot of information on there. So if you have a concern and you want to bring it out, you're not sure where to go, then I think this is the perfect opportunity for you to bring your concerns out. But again, go to the neighborhood board website, look at the different things that are happening, all the information about the different rules and regulations. And maybe if you're inkling to be on the board, there's also some information, I'm sure, about the next board election. So, it's there, your taxpayer dollars pay for it. But anyway, that was my PSA for tonight. But I did have a concern that was brought to me by a Wahiawā resident, and I'm not sure where to address it, but I'm just going to put it out there. So this resident was concerned about how the city will be maintaining or taking care of sidewalks and pedestrian walkways, not only for pedestrians, but also for bike riders, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, this particular community member was in an accident on city and county highways, actually on the sidewalk. So I'm not sure if we address it with somebody from the mayor's office, but what are the plans for maintaining and maybe making better or more sidewalks that are more bike friendly and more pedestrian friendly in our Wahiawā? Thank you.
That's perfect, TJ. So just to update, I don't know if you noticed, so this issue came up in this area on Kilani Avenue on the asphalt. The I don't want to even call it a walkway, but it's because it's overgrown with grass and everything else. But so last year this came up, and so I worked on that. And if you notice from after here, if you walk up, right at the crosswalk at the corner right here, if you walk up, it's actually been paved. I'm not paved, but asphalt. So there's new asphalt on both sides. I think you've seen. So that was something I worked on last year because we did get many complaints on that. I tried to get them convinced to do the whole thing, from corner down here up to corner up there. But they said, no, they'll do half. So they did from this corner up. So I'm working on them to see if maybe this year they can do the other half and do this side, but once we do that, then at least this side will be smooth, at least better. So I'll follow up on that again.
But Chair, how can we as a community help you in getting them to do the other half?
Yeah, that's why. So after that last year, so that's why I said we can start again and work on this side. Because last year they said they didn't have enough to do that side. They could only do half. So we got.
Are you talking about enough money, enough
Yeah.
workers?
No, they said cost wise because they did it. They did it as a. I don't want to say free. It's not free, but they did it in that half. So they said we can do that half. Is basically what they said. So we got to convince them that
Got-
try to help us do the other half, basically.
Would
Okay.
more input from the community help with that?
Maybe. I mean, we'll sign because it was a long discussion, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. And if we
Okay.
can move forward, yeah.
Well, how about I ask you this? For the next meeting, could you bring some contact information that we can share with our community members that maybe they can email, call, write a letter in support of getting the other half done?
I think that's after though. It's like anything you want to make friends first, right? You want to at least talk story and
Of
before
course.
it becomes
Of
a bigger
course.
issue or whatnot. But it worked, and so we got to work again. And just like with the CRBs and everything, we got to work and try to get things done. Yeah. So yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
community, you heard it here. So let's keep our eyes and ears open and let's see how we can support Chair Ishikawa's quest to get all of our sidewalks taken
Got a
care of.
question for the chair.
Yeah. Go ahead.
For the ongoing county project that affects California Avenue, I know they had sent something to give a presentation. Has that been established? The date of a presentation?
I didn't receive a
You
request.
did
yet.
not?
No.
I saw a copy of it go to all the board members, maybe,
All the board members?
yeah.
I didn't get.
They wanted to give a presentation sometime
didn't get it.
like within the last few months. May want to reach out, or we can ask Matt's office if
Yeah. Well, thanks for letting us know because
Well, actually, could you just share it with the rest of us?
I,
Forward it, you have our email address, that would
yeah,
be great.
I got to hunt down the copy of that, but I know I saw it, so I thought being that it was kind of addressed to you, that you would coordinate with the,
Vice Chair didn't get the letter.
But you got it.
yeah, that's a problem then, I guess.
Well, I tell you what, June, how about you share it with us? And we'd be happy to take a look at it. Maybe we can talk story at the next meeting about it.
Well, actually, I'll look for that email and I'll send it out. But if no one had replied to the city about establishing the presentation date, then we're behind the curve.
Well, how about you share it with us and Jeannie and I will make every effort to get something done because we can't reply if we didn't get it. Thank
That's
you so
true.
much.
And okay, I wasn't aware that nobody else seen it. Did anybody else see it beside me?
I'm sorry, but yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay.
But
well,
I mean, it affects the sidewalks and the bike paths and the road on California anyway.
okay.
That was a whole city project. I don't know if any attended the workshops over
Okay.
here, but
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you, June. And thank you for sharing that. At least we know now that there was a letter because we didn't know about it. So, but thank you very much, June, and we appreciate if you can help us out with that information. Okay, we have another speaker. Go ahead.
Hi, aloha kako. My name is Yoko. I work with the Hawaii Nurses Association and I represent the nurses at Wahiawā. The idea was that I would come here with nurses and I did come with someone, but then when we saw leadership from Queens, they got a little uncomfortable. So hopefully if we could get on an agenda at some point that we would actually hear from nurses themselves and not from their union rep. And I know that this is not the forum for labor discussions. So, but I wanted to share actually what actually affects the community, right? So, today Queens shared that they plan to add more beds, and I also wanted to hear their plan for hiring up also, right? But to how were they going to staff those beds? As we hear that Wahiawā, which was a hospital that served this community for many years, and the people, the nurses that worked there for many years, they never quit working there, right? The hospital was just bought, right? And then the people who worked there had to kind of start over, right? Now they're new hires, right? And that's a whole nother thing. And
how do you continue hiring folks and retaining folks at lower compensation than the other campuses of Queens when now Wahiwa is they're getting longer wait times. Now they're getting folks from all over the West Side, North Shore. Now town folks heard that, oh, Queens is Wahiwa, has Wahiwa now. Now we're gonna go over there for shorter wait times, and now that makes longer wait times. Yeah, now the secret's out. Yeah. So, how are they gonna do that? And how does that continue serving the community when you're not respecting the people who are from the community, serving the community, right? And at the same time, Wahiwa is operating primarily as an emergency department, right? And it cannot take inpatient admissions. Sometimes patients are waiting up to 18 hours for transfer or placement, seeing increased volume from all over, like I said, and the growing strain on the staff. And this is just not sustainable. And when you want to keep folks here, right, you want to treat them like your family, right? You want to make sure you take care of them. You want to keep folks home, taking care of your folks. You don't want them go mainland. You don't want them go Punchbowl or West, right? You want to keep them here. So I know that Queens was coming here. I didn't get a chance to see the old community board meetings, and I plan on like looking through them because I know they made commitments, and I want to know what those commitments are and if they're continuing to make good on those commitments when they took over this hospital about supporting staff, respecting longtime workers, and strengthening healthcare access in Central Oahu, specifically Wahiwa, right? And I'm not asking the board to bargain for the nurses at Wahiwa. I'm asking for a chance for the community to be able to listen to the folks that care for the community, right? To hear and understand what's happening inside your hospital and to ensure that Wahiwa continues to receive the care and respect that it deserves. So thank you.
Thank you, Yoko. And we appreciate your concern for the hospital and your attachment to it. But thank you for your speech. Thank you. Okay, any other comments or anyone that wants to bring up? Yeah, go ahead, Walt.
I'm Warren Gualderrama. I'm representing Shara Savior Church, soon to be Freedom Point Church, and Wahiawā Christian Ministers Association. The state currently doesn't have any real oversight on our clean and sober houses. Right now, I think the best that we have is ADAD, which they do an initial inspection and a renewal inspection and give us a place to give complaints. And I'm hearing that these inspections could be, 1 or 2 years in between, depending on what kind of standings they're in. I have a proposal, P094 at the Charter Commission. I'm trying to get the county to require registration with inspections and limiting the amount of beds to a room. I've witnessed a clean and sober house here that had 4 and 5 beds in a room, and it was very cramped, and it was not very there wasn't very much success. I'm realizing that some of this belongs to the state, and we have a bill, SB 1533, which I would like to see the senators push through and turn into law. Also on the, there is an identical bill at the county, HB 1217, requiring mandatory registration of any place with 5 or more beds, and there are inspections of at least 1 per year, unannounced inspections. Also, I have a another proposal here, 0238, that is for the county to provide land for a Calhale that would work together with the judicial system. And I'm hoping for it to work together with our, what do they call it? The community outreach court that we have that I think has not been in operation lately, so that we could service our houseless people here a little bit better. And then there is a SB 361 that pertains to that same thing. Oh wait, oh. I'm sorry, the SB 361 is for, I believe for the money to handle the court system. I'm sorry, I got my notes kind of messed up here.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you for the report, but I'm assuming that's a report that you're following on, right? Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much. Yep. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Carrie Anduja, and we're here. Just wanted to introduce ourselves. We're just opened an extension from our, with our church. We're called King's Cathedral and Chapels, but just almost a year now, we have our extension. Again, we're part of King's Cathedral and Chapels. This is one of many extensions worldwide. We're actually about 1,000 extensions worldwide. Anyways, so we're here in Wahiawā. We wanted to introduce ourselves. We also wanted to know how can we, do an event here at the park or in our park, in our community. Again, I'm born and raised here in Wahiawā, grew up in Whitmore. We're like 5, 6 generations here. And I'm excited that we're here, to just grab hold of our community, so many years. And I know we used to run around all over this place, and just wanted to give back. And just like you, Miss Ishikawa, please let us know. I mean, how can we help? We can grab a couple people with couple weed whackers, whatever it is that we can help.
I should have
Right,
told you
so-
earlier to set up the tables and chairs. Was only me and
Well, just let us know.
cameraman. Nobody else come. Only me and the cameraman.
Well, and so that's why we're here. We wanted to introduce ourselves again. We are placed there right now at Mango Grill.
Yeah.
Every Sundays at 10. But we want to. I have part of our staff. I'm one of the ministers at King's, and right now we have part of our staff here that oversee the evangelism team that does the events as well. Cornelius and Emily Ayala, which I'll have them come and explain what is needed and how they try to reach out, but we're not able to reach out to the people in person. And again, our very good sister here, Noelani DeVincent and Garrett has been keeping us up to date. They actually, Noe had brought us here today to encourage us to come and voice and introduce ourselves. So thank you for having us here, but I'll have Cornelius, yeah.
But you know what? It's a 3-minute limit, so you've got
Okay.
you've got like 27 seconds to go. Okay. No, you're right on. You're on spot.
Hi, I'm Cornelius. This is my wife, Emily. We do outreach and evangelism. So we are in a community, boots on the ground, walking around. We see the concerns. We partnered up with the Mililani community where we did 2 events in their communities last year, which, they loved. And we just want to love on the community. We hear the concern, especially with the e-bikes. We have a heart for them, so we have a couple guys that have hearts that want to do a ministry to get them in. So we just wanted to come and see how we can be a part of it.
Okay, thank you. Before you leave, when the meeting is Paul, give me a contact info for him. It's very nice to meet all you. Can we welcome this new group of people to Wahiawā?
Yay. And actually, Chair, I wanted to just share that I had spoken earlier today to Noilani. We go back many, many moons, and I've given her some information about how to go about planning this. Please continue to reach out to me. I'm happy to help. So next meeting, February 23rd
The-
in
the
Whitmore.
box, yeah.
If you can be there at 6:45 to help us set up, we'll be right there. Come on down. Okay, thank you.
It would be the first time that she was there. I tell you.
Well, you know, some of us got to work all the way downtown.
Everybody. Oh, nobody's scared. Okay, anyway, go ahead. Thank you. Please introduce yourself.
Aloha Chair, Board, Community. Rin Linchenko, Whitmore resident. I'm here to ask, when would Environmental Services report on the Whitmore Village contract wastewater trucks dumping at the Village Treatment Station on Whitmore Avenue? I know there was a meeting or there was a gathering that they talked, so we were just wondering if there would be a report.
Okay, well, I have to tell you, I didn't get an invitation to a meeting of this. So when was it? Do you know when it was? Because
Not
I'll
sure.
definitely put a call in tomorrow.
Actually, Ms. Lenchenko, the meeting that you were talking about was more to talk about the sewer rates that are, the sewer hikes that are coming. But I did actually have a conversation with a gentleman at ENV, and then I'll give you a call later.
Okay.
And I can share some of that information with you.
That's
But I
good.
did
I just
plan
wanted to ask
having
the
them. Yep.
question, so it's out there,
Yep.
because it's a concern in the
Yeah,
village.
so it was
that's going
also
on.
brought to me by another community resident. So my intent was to have him come join us at the Whitmore meeting. So,
Okay.
but I do know that maybe October or November, there's a meeting about the sewer hikes,
Yeah.
the sewer
Yeah, the
rate
sewer rates,
increases.
they did,
Yeah.
and they did.
No,
but that was,
different.
This was a different one?
It's a different one. There was a meeting. I don't know if, I don't want to mention.
It was me.
There. I didn't want to just like throw it out there. Yeah. So I just wanted to know if there would be a report.
There probably won't be a report per se. We didn't ask for a report, but we did ask for more information that we are hoping to share with the community. And we were asking for specifically data about where those trucks are getting the materials that they're bringing to Whitmore Village. So we can talk offline, but or I can talk about it more later in my report.
yeah, I'm just gonna, I want to make this statement. I've heard someone say, or people say, I can talk about it later, or I'll talk to you about it later, or it's a secret or whatnot. We don't work this way. We do not work this way. This
No,
board-
it's not a secret.
It's not a,
Well,
yeah.
but you did use the word. So
To
I'm
be
just,
clear, I didn't say it was a secret. I said I would talk about it later in my report.
on this side, it said, was this, I can talk to later. And we're all here for a community meeting so we can hear, not, okay, I'll give you that, and I'll talk to you afterwards.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's all talk about it. That's what we.
Do you want me
we're-
to talk about it now?
Hakaka. I don't want any hakaka. We are gonna
Yeah.
free and clear to
You
work
want me to
together.
talk about it now? Because it's kind of complicated.
Yeah, you may as well. Well, you brought it up. Yeah, but
Okay.
then your 3 minutes. Don't worry. But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I can see. I mean, I'm just here to ask the question to
Yeah,
relay
yeah.
the message, because I know it was out there being done. So it's like the community needs to be
Yes,
aware.
thank you.
So
Right.
that's all it is.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Right.
Okay, go ahead,
So,
Representative.
we had heard concerns from Whitmore Village about, what was seen as illegal dumping, and it really is. The facts of the matter is that ENV has moved their septage disposal site to Whitmore Village. So that is from what we could gather at that meeting, that is a semi-permanent move. That is going to remain in place. And so we wanted to know, they said they'd taken about 20,000 gallons of effluent every day. And we wanted to know where it was coming from, because that means that in all likelihood, those are cesspools that are failing, that need to be converted. So we were asking for the data, and those those transport trucks and those transport companies are not willing to share that data with us, because they said it's proprietary information. So we're trying to get to the root source of this problem, and to really better understand what the city is dealing with in terms of waste management. And what has been happening apparently is that rogue transport agents have been dumping materials that do not belong in a septic system or in a sewage retaining system. And screwing it up, like messing up all of the bacteria so that it ruins the whole system. So that's why they had to move it to Whitmore Village. And those companies also really wanted to have it be in Whitmore Village because it was the closest, they had less travel time, right? And so the more they have to travel, the more they have to pay in time, right, to their employees and also in gas. So that was their explanation of why Whitmore Village, why that site. And also because it goes straight into the Wahiawā wastewater treatment plant system. So for them, it's great. It's highly convenient. It's kind of a disaster for the community, not only because that increased trucking, and I explained to them they were going to have a regional kitchen right there and all kinds of food hub activities, and that they were unaware. But I don't think that's going to change their calculations because they're really being pressured by those companies who provide that service. So that's really the upshot. We're still trying to figure out. So that's the root cause is we have a lot of folks, and it's actually most of that effluent is coming from the North Shore and all the way around, actually, to the east side, and so it's coming this way, and you know, some from Waialua.
And Rep, if I could share information, because you and I have had conversations about that. The reason also because she was talking about the rogue people that are dumping things into the treatment plant that was out in Kahuku. Not only were they dumping things that shouldn't have been dumped in there, but that plant had been vandalized. And the city was having a hard time securing that. So, you know, when the gates are locked, people were going over there and they were cutting the lock to go in and dump. And so what they've done, last that I knew, this was in November, they had actually closed that one down. And that's why you see all of the trucks that are hauling their waste into the plant here in Whitmore.
Sure. Wait, hold on, one question. I'm sorry. Sorry, Joe, stand by. Representative, can I just ask, this situation, how is it impacting Whitmore? But more so, because are they even aware of this? Because this discussion, we're
yeah.
just hearing about. So
Yeah.
if they're aware, okay, that's number one. I want to make sure they know. But number two, I'm also wondering, is this something that the senator can help us with, not only with you, but you and senator can, because no one has ever brought this issue up. And you're, like you said, you know, senator has his plans to build. So
Yeah.
we need to
Well,
monitor this.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, you know, we just met in November. We didn't have this neighborhood board meeting in December. So this is our first, like, actually public time to talk about it, which is why I was going to talk about it in my report. And definitely, I would welcome the senator's help. It's really a city and county issue. It's really a waste management issue. So we've been working with ENB, and they've been, you know, they are also stuck, like they have a complicated situation where they have to manage all this waste and they have to deal with these companies who are hauling this waste. So yeah, I mean, and the ways in which the Whitmore Village community members are being affected are primarily through traffic, this increased traffic coming in and out of Whitmore Village. And you know as well as anybody that it's very congested at certain times of the day. And it's really, that's an extra challenge for community members, but then also the smell, because it's sewage, you know, it's raw sewage, and the wind carries the odor, and the community is quite close to that location. So it has an impact. And when I've been canvassing in the area, people have talked about it, and it is impacting their quality of life and their sense of community. So we do plan to work on it further. I am open to all suggestions. I really want them to reopen the Kahuku plant, frankly, if that's where most of the waste is coming from.
Okay. Thank you very much, Representative. We'll come back to you. Thank you for answering the question. She's on this same issue, or Representative, do you mind one more question?
Not at all.
Okay.
Aloha, Rep. It's Nani Brown here. I just want to say, Whitmore gets the short end of the stick a lot of times. And I think that, mahalo for bringing this to definitely my attention, but I pledge to work and, make a lot louder noise about that because Whitmore deals with number one of the pesticides. Whitmore was dealing with all extra dump kind stuff. And now Whitmore, now you dumping crap on it. Like, I think we need to stick up for our community in Whitmore a lot more.
Yeah.
And then, the building of that rec center that they left all the construction stuff on the side of the road by the park for like, I don't know, 8 months. I think that we can do a little bit better in sticking up for Whitmore over here. That's all.
And I perfect.
I'll work
but
with you, Rep.
Yeah, but perfect. And then we're gonna go on. Joe, you had something? I just wanna.
Yeah, just adding on to Nani's comment, we're the Wahiawā-Whitmore Village
That's what I
Neighborhood
was gonna
Board.
say. Yeah, yeah.
We should have been advised of all this crap earlier,
Yep.
despite the fact that we didn't have a meeting in November. If somebody knew that this dumping was happening, it should have been brought to us. We should have been able to have a mouthpiece about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm happy to fully engage the neighborhood board in this effort. And we were just fact finding. So we did a site visit to figure out actually what was going on. We had no idea and they also didn't bother to inform us.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Oh, yeah, we have one more before we go. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Aloha, my name is Mickey Travis, longtime resident of Wahiawā, born and raised. So a couple of the issues that I wanted to address, one of them is the Wahiawā transfer station. I'm an avid user of green waste as well as the Wahiawā transfer station. My issue with the transfer station is that the metal bin that's there, it's always full. I'm not going to say maybe always is not. You're lucky if you get there when the bin just gets there. And the issue is that once the bin is full, I need to drive to Kauailoa. The second issue with Kauailoa, other than the Wahiawā one, you can just back up, dump your metal, no problem. When you go to Kauailoa, you have to be able to go from the ground to the top of the bin, and the bin is not open. So if you got heavy metal, it's a hit and miss. Either you can get it up over your head, which I think can cause an injury. So, if it causes me an injury, who's going to pay for that bill, right? But we should have easy access to dump our metal. And if not, if Kauailoa is full, now I have to, because I don't want to take it back home. I don't want to dump it illegally, which will not happen. I have to go all the way to Kapa'a Quarry, right? So now that's my time, my gas, right? That I have to go wear and tear on my vehicle to take it over the H3, which is unfair. So my thing is that whoever, because I know it's a third party that does it, but whatever the turnaround time, maybe folks could address that. Okay, so the second thing that I wanted to address is the corner of Olive and Ojai Street. And I believe that's Lone Star Automotive. And I'm a big supporter of local business, small business. So I'm a small business owner myself. So my thing is that corner is a hazard waiting to happen. Me and my wife, we were just coming home a couple of days ago. We almost got broadsided again. So yes, there is a stop sign there as you traveling on, if you're coming down the one way from Jack in the Box, there's a stop sign that's there on the right. Okay, that's fine. But no one looks for that stop sign. So I don't know what the immediate fix is. Maybe it's another stop sign that needs to be placed there or something. I know Lone Star they park the cars everywhere. I'm not against them. They got to do business. I get it. But to me, it's unsafe. I don't want to wait to get broadsided there. The other thing is that there is a clear sidewalk that is under those vehicles that are parked in front of that warehouse. You know, and I've lived there for years. And so to see, even this evening when I was coming up here, there are pedestrians that having to walk in the roadway to pass that, right? To pass those vehicles. And you got a lot of traffic coming off of Cam Highway. So to me, that's another hazard just waiting to happen, right?
Yeah.
The other thing, the same thing on Olive Avenue is that there's inconsistency of ticketing. Some days they'll ticket, some days they won't. You'll have cars parked right on the corners, on the streets, you know, and I don't want to be a troublemaker. I don't want to have to call the police every single time, you know, I'm not about that. But there is signs that are clearly saying parking in here or no parking here or whatever. But it is a hindrance when you gotta take a turn coming down that one way on high, and then you gotta just merge just a little so you don't get hit. And
Yeah.
that's
it's
that's
a squeeze.
unsafe.
It's a squeeze in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other issue I had is that the street on Milikana Street, who owns that road? Who is actually the owner of Milikana Street?
Is that Milikana?
Yeah.
Milikana
Milikana Street, yes.
Milikana
Milikana
Place.
So I'm a resident there, right? And so anyways, whenever we have to get our trash picked up, and we abide by it, but what we do is me and my family, we do street cleanups, only because people move in, move out from apartments, and our home is down in that area. And so if our trash has to get picked up and there's only one vehicle on the street, it will not pick up our trash. So there's only a couple options you have. You either wait the next pickup, and if it happens again and you're not up there to ask the individual to move the car, which you need to go meet with the police officer to have the vehicle move, right? So it's that road, and signs that we have put up, it's not bright signs, but we put do not park here on certain days at this time.
Yeah.
But it's not a legal sign, but it's just letting people in the area to know that this area, we need it clear between 6 and 8 so that we can get our trash picked up. And by all means, go ahead and park, but we need our trash picked up. And it's not my responsibility. We pay our taxes, and I want my trash picked up.
Right.
Right?
Okay. Okay. So we got 5 issues, right?
Several. I got a couple more.
Okay. I thought you're. Okay. All I know. Okay. I got to remind everyone, it's supposed to be a 3-minute limit, you know, but we kind of ohana at this point. So if you can kind of run through it, because we got.
Okay, and then the sidewalk behind on Palm Street that is adjacent, which is right directly behind Ace Hardware. Okay, there is a sidewalk there. Again, pedestrians, individuals with wheelchairs having to walk in the road where the cars are, you know, which is kind of unsafe, which is not safe. And then we talked about the sidewalks, right? We know it's not only California. We know it's on Olive, Keelani, you name it. And then obviously we know it's funding. So, you know, so those are issues. It's not only the main street on California. We do have 2 other roads that we need
Okay.
to walk on. All right, thank you. I
Okay.
appreciate it.
Yeah, but Mickey, before you leave tonight, make sure you give me your contact info. I just want to run over everybody so we know what we're looking at, because there's some repetitive stuff in here. But and I want to just comment on some things that we did correct that we've had complaints about or concerns that came through this board. But you're talking about the transfer station. So on those issues, tomorrow I'm going to call ENV because that's their. So I'm going to give them a call regarding that and the other connected issues on
And
that.
to mention about that, they do tell you can go on YouTube and look at the camera, but the camera doesn't show the sign that the bin is full. But, you know, I don't think I have to go in there
Yeah.
if they do a better turnaround time.
Yeah, I agree. It should be able to be worked out. The Ojai and Olive Avenue, that one we actually had a complaint about last year. But I thought they corrected it, but I'll do a follow-up on
Mhm.
that one because I
Thank
didn't hear
you.
anything after that. So I thought it was corrected. The sidewalks, like you said, we got
Yeah.
all over issues at sidewalks. The ticketing, I'm gonna call HPD tomorrow anyway, so I'll ask them about this. I mean, I don't know if they do certain ways or certain areas only. I'm not sure how their schedule is, but
Mhm.
we'll follow up on that. Milikana Place, I'm sorry, I was a little confused on Milikana. Oh, owner, okay, thank you. What is the concern of that? Why do you need to know?
Because our
Of
trash.
the trash, that's
Yeah.
a trash issue. Okay.
And Chair, if I could suggest also, Mickey,
Yep.
if you go on the Honolulu 311 app, you know this incident, I mean, this concern that you brought up about Lone Star Auto at Olive and Ojai. If you can take some pictures and go on the 311 app and submit a report there, they actually do follow up, because I've had quite a few people that said, hey, that 311 app actually works there. So just take a picture of what you see, go on the app, and you can just download it off the App Store and then submit the pictures and then maybe 2 or 3 sentences about what your concern is. And then they'll issue it out, and they have what's called a riser, yeah? It issues what's called a riser, and it actually follows it once your issue is submitted. It follows it right up the chain of command, so it does get addressed.
Okay.
Yeah, Honolulu 311. Thank you.
Great. Thank
and
you.
it's the riser is an acronym, so it's RISR. When you send it through, you're sending it to RISR. That's what they call it, and that's how they write it. And we just so it doesn't get lost in the wind somewhere. Okay, are we good right now? But for her meeting and for her session, or with this? Representative, is your question part of this community?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So I want to take a point of personal privilege and introduce our office, because they've already had a really long day and I have to send them home. And we also have, I think, 3 interns joining us who I want to, 4 actually, maybe 3 or 4. Who need to go to bed because they have school tomorrow. So if you guys could turn on your cameras. First, I'm going to introduce Kelsey Floyd. She's our new EEP committee committee clerk. And she's already started. She's fantastic. We're super lucky to have her. We also have Zaz Dahlin. Zaz, if you can turn on your camera, and if not, that's okay too. Zaz is a member of the North Shore Neighborhood Board. We're really lucky to have her. She's serving as our legislative aide. And that's our core team, along with Yvonne, who's our office manager. For our student intern team, so we have the Keiki Caucus High School legislative interns. The first is Chelsea Miguel, and she is a sophomore from Maui. And we're really excited about working with her. I also see online Connor Birdsall. He is with HTA over in Waipahu. Connor, if you could turn on your camera, if not, that's fine. And we have 2 others. Hope Fuentes was on for a while. I'm not seeing her right now. And then we also have, oh, where? Okay. Hope Fuentes is basically a student at Wahiawā High. And then we also have Sophia Belhaj, who is at Mililani High. So a real, and actually our high school legislative internship has kind of taken off. We have 20 students involved. And we're super excited about this session. These folks might be attending, listening in, learning from your conversations, and learning just about the civic process. So Chair, I really appreciate all of your guidance in that area. And they might also be occasionally asked to answer questions or report to the board. So thank you for your indulgence, so I can get them going to bed.
Thank you, Representative. Everyone, hold on. We just want to say mahalo, and we want to welcome your staff. So can we give a nice welcome applause? Thank you. And we look forward to meeting all of you someday virtually. Mahalo. Okay, we're on, where are we now? We are done, and we are going into the present. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, everyone. I just want to read this update. We had scheduled an update on 525 Avocado Street. The State Department of Land and Natural Resources, DNR Engineering Division G70 notification of the draft environmental assessment EA for the Division of Conservation and Resources Enforcement, which is DOCARE, the Wahiawā Substation Project pursuant to Hawaii Revised Statute Chapter 343 and Hawaii's Administrative Rules 343 and Hawaii Administrative Rules Chapter 11-200-1. And I just want to let you know, we were going to have a presentation from them this month, but they are rescheduled for next month. So just so that you know, if you are interested in this and what's happening down at Avocado Street and what's going to come up I will tell you that I have repeatedly gone down there and have asked them to put up fencing, and they're like, yeah, we will. Because if you look at it right now, somebody could fall in the back because it's just wide open. There's no fencing. And while one structure has fencing around it, the rest of it is just wide open. So anyone could dangerously fall over or could be climbing up from the gulch, climbing up, so that's one of my issues, because I think the neighborhood needs to be safe and be cared for. And if anybody can go do whatever they want down below, and we just want to make sure everybody's safe and where they are. So if you're going to be joining us, that presentation will be at Whitmore in February. Okay, so we are now on our elected officials. Mayor Grangiardi's office. Is Kevin there?
Hello, Chair. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good. Thank you.
Outstanding. Great. I used two phones this time so that I wouldn't, because we had a technical difficulty last time around. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year, board. Before I start, there was a comment regarding streets and sidewalks and bike paths and a presentation that may have been made. And I'm wondering if that relates to the Complete Streets program that DTS runs. Because that program coordinates bike, vehicular, and pedestrian roadways and some of those new bike lanes that you've seen throughout different parts of Oahu, particularly downtown. And I'm wondering if it's that, and we can check with DTS on that to see if that's what the community member was referring to.
Okay.
Yes, it is. It is Complete Streets. That's
Okay, great. Yeah.
I guess it was a follow-up to the presentation the workshop that they did for the community early summer, I'd like to say.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I recall that there was either a presentation or a workshop, but I just don't remember when. And so I guess the question is, were there outcomes from that? Was there follow-up from that?
Yeah, and that's the email that I recall seeing, that they wanted to set up a presentation date with the Wahiawā Neighborhood Board.
Yeah, so Chair, you can, or I can follow up on that with DTS to find out, whatever happened with that and where that is.
Yeah, I'll make a call to DTS tomorrow. I just want to clarify, there's two different things. What June is referring to is correct, but the one
Yep.
that I was referring to was with an asphalt company and asking to see if they could do like a donation to us to pave the
I see.
ways.
Okay,
Yeah,
got
so
it.
that was a not combined issue, combinations, two separate things.
Understood.
Okay, go ahead.
Appreciate that. Okay, so just a couple of things in the mayor's newsletter, some highlights this month. And the biggest one is that the new flood risk maps that were introduced by FEMA take effect on June 10th. And not so much of an impact in Wahiawā, but just something for residents to be aware of. And you can find information on that at the mayor's newsletter at www.honolulu.gov/mayor/newsletter. The other important thing, and definitely germane to this evening's discussion, is that the city launched we haven't had a meeting since before the holidays, but on December 1st, the city launched a new and improved HNL 311 system, which residents can use to report issues in their communities that need to be fixed or addressed by the city. Residents can submit requests for service via the HNL 311 mobile app, which is available for Apple and Android devices, or by visiting the website at hnl311.com. The new system is more intuitive and easier to navigate, and it's easier for residents to submit requests for services to the city. On the city's end, the new system makes it easier for departments to track and respond to the issues that have been reported. So this is like a new and improved riser system. Once the issue has been reported, it goes directly to the department that is responsible for whatever the particular request is. And if users are registered for an account, they'll get notified whenever there's a status update on their request. The city can only fix issues and solve problems that we know about. So instead of taking a video of broken sink and posting it to Instagram, snap a couple of photos and let us know by submitting it to HNL 311. I checked it out. It's actually pretty amazing. So I would highly recommend it. This means that you and I may not be communicating by text as much going forward, Chair, but it is a great app. And it's also nice because it gives you the updates. You know when the department got it, and it'll follow up with you. So something I would highly recommend. A few carryover issues. Some of these may be dated because they were, I think, before our last meeting. But there was a question about water line cleanup concerns along Royal Palm Drive. I'm hopeful that's been addressed already, but in mid-November, BWS sent an inspector out. They didn't know exactly or specifically where to look on Royal Palm Drive, so they inspected the whole area. The condition was subsequently verified to be at 1627 Royal Palm Drive, and the contractor was formally directed to remove some material that had been stored there, and the contractor was reminded that all materials must be removed daily. I'm hopeful it's not an issue anymore. There was a question at the last meeting. Is there a more efficient solution to deal with houselessness issues in the community? Houseless residents, I think this was related to the article in the newspaper about houseless residents being issued citations and then those citations being dismissed once they get to court. DCS responded to that question, basically emphasizing that there's a growing population of individuals experiencing not just homelessness, but also folks with medical and shelter needs and chronic behavioral health and substance use disorders. The mayor's strategy has been addressing this growing segment for the past few years, creating 265 emergency shelter beds, 310 more transitional beds, and 128 more specialty treatment beds, and 234 affordable housing beds over the last 2 years. The city and the administration continues to invest in treatment programs that align with this growing demographic of people experiencing homelessness, and that's where the real effort is currently. There was another question regarding usage of abandoned properties, and the question was, can abandoned properties be converted into facilities to help shelter houseless residents? And I guess the answer to that really depends on what is it, how do we define abandoned properties? So the city doesn't have the ability to go in and take private property. We can do that via eminent domain. One of the challenges that we have, however, from the city's perspective, is we can't exercise eminent domain for blight. So just because a property doesn't look great, doesn't mean we can go in and take it. And we've obviously experienced that through the direct experience with Avocado and other properties, and even some of the stuff in Waikiki downtown, where we've had properties that have been eyesores and attract sort of the wrong elements for decades. So it's a real challenge using eminent domain. That said, if there are abandoned properties and we know of them and we can approach and there's a direct city nexus or public use, and we can address those landowners to see if they have an interest in selling in a cooperative transaction, that's always something we could do, provided there's a potential use for it. In fact, in Waianae, we're currently looking at a property like that right now for a transitional shelter for DCS. So just some thoughts on that. There was a question regarding barricades and unusable sidewalk on Whitmore Avenue. Are there any updates about the sidewalk stretch from the Whitmore Mini Mart to the Navy Mini Mart? And apparently, I think the response to that from DDC was that Whitmore Avenue is under, hate to kick the can down the road, but it's under state jurisdiction. And so that's really a state issue. I'm not sure if anybody has a recollection of that question. And then there was some abandoned dirt near the Whitmore Community Park. And the dirt was part of the State Department of Transportation Whitmore Avenue project. It's outside of DPR's jurisdiction, but most of that dirt was previously used to refill the ditch that was dug during the initial phase of construction. So not certain if that's still an issue, but if it is, certainly let me know and we'll follow up on it.
Kevin, stand by. We have someone who has some information. Nani, can you? Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, sorry. It was the resident, the Whitmore resident is here. And she was the one asking about the question about the sidewalks in Whitmore. If that helps you.
Yeah. So is there a follow-up question or?
No, good, Paul. Oh, is a situation? Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, that's okay. If it's a state issue, then she said that's okay.
Okay,
Ms.
and if not,
Lenchenko.
just follow up with us, we'll be happy to,
Okay, we'll do.
if it's still
Okay.
existing.
Chair.
Again, it's kind of an aged, because it was before the holidays, so hopefully it's been
Okay,
cleared up already.
we'll get back to you.
Chair, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
Yep.
Ms. Lenchenko, Kevin, I'm sorry, give me one moment. Is that pile of dirt still there?
Nani, you want to come? Kevin, stand by. We're going to repeat. the
Sure.
que-
Yeah, and this was, just to be clear, this was the dirt on Whitmore Avenue near the Whitmore Community Park. And DPR's response was that it was outside DPR's jurisdiction, but that they were in communication with SDOT to kind of get that cleaned up.
Ms. Lenchenko, would you come up to the mic, introduce yourself again, and would you repeat your question that you had brought up the last time?
Okay, Rin Lenchenko, Whitmore Village resident. It was the concern of, I think it's phase 2 of the sidewalk project. I don't know, city, state. I couldn't remember the sign, but when school is returning, I think after a break, it's like the sidewalk project is stalled. So it's still all coned off. The gym in front is all still barriered with that orange fencing and stuff like that. But the sidewalk in front of Dole, so in front of Dole from the bus stop to, I think it's Lalawai, that sidewalk is coned off. Nobody can access and walk there. So we were just wondering if there's an update on progress but if that's the same sidewalk issue and that's a state thing.
Yeah, I might be confusing issues. So this was related to some abandoned dirt near Whitmore Community Park, but it sounds like you're referring to a sidewalk project out in front of Dole. And
Yes.
if it's a sidewalk project, it's more likely our Department of Design and Construction or Department of Facilities Maintenance. So we can follow up and find out on that.
Yeah, it has
Just
the
to-
big
just to re-
sign. It has the big sign of the sidewalk phase project right there at the park bathroom, Whitmore Park
Is-
bathroom side.
Is it on Whitmore?
Yes, it's on Whitmore Ave. So it was supposed to be the part where they were trying to rephase the sidewalks, like in front
Got
of Kaikani, it's all supposed to be the new cemented with the lifted, with the wheelchair access. So
Yeah.
half of it is completed. What it looks like to us is completed, but it's not fully completed because nobody can use it. It's still coned off. The
Okay,
kids.
so State Department of Transportation has got a project on Whitmore Avenue.
Yes.
But I know that DIT generally manages handicap access and sidewalks and such, as well as DFM. But we'll follow up on it. We'll refresh and see what we can find
Thank
out.
you very much.
A pleasure.
Thank you, Rand. Thank you, Kevin. Sorry for the confusion on some of that information.
Yeah,
but
no worries at all.
We'll get it squared off. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Yep. Yeah, go ahead, Kevin. One more
Kevin?
question.
Sure.
Hi, it's TJ. Happy New
Hi,
Year, by
TJ.
the way.
Happy New Year.
Yes, thank you. And Kevin, you had given some numbers about the homelessness and the houses. You're giving numbers about beds.
Yeah.
In Honolulu County, do you know if there are any STF or TLP beds that have been slated for our Wahiawā or our Whitmore Village area?
It's a great question, TJ, and I don't know that. That would be a question for DCS. They track that, and we can certainly ask them.
Great, yeah, if you could let us know how many STF and how many TLP beds have been slated for Wahiawā, that would be really, really helpful.
You got it.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Any other questions from the board? Okay, yes, go ahead.
Aloha, Kevin. This is Erin.
Aloha.
Just asking, and I'm not sure if this is in the city and county jurisdiction, but what I've just noticed driving through Wahiawa is that there seems to be a lot of small businesses closing. There seems to be an increase of small businesses that are shuttering. Would that be something that you could have statistics on, maybe from the Department of Planning and Permitting? Like, these are
That's a
private.
good question. That might be it might be the Office of Community Revitalization and Economic Development. I'll reach out to both and see if we can get any stats on that. That's
Because it's
concerning.
just there's more abandoned looking buildings, and just having open storefronts has that welcoming atmosphere or walkability. You want to walk between stores, so I appreciate
And activating the streets is really important. Yep.
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll follow up.
Thank you, Erin. That's a good question because I think there are about 4 that have closed recently. That's why, yeah, on the corner over there where there used to be the ice shape shop, that area is closed, and then on the other side. Anyway, okay, go ahead. Any other questions from the board? Okay, questions from the community? Questions virtually? Okay, Kevin, I think you're good for now.
Okay, thank you very much, Chair.
We'll be in touch.
Mahalo. Have a great evening. Mahalo.
You too. Mahalo. Calling on Councilmember Wire's office, Kelly.
Aloha, Chair. Can you guys hear
Aloha.
me?
Yeah, good. Thank you. Nice to see you.
Awesome. Awesome. Good evening, Chair, members of the board. Kelly Anaya from Councilmember Matt Wire's office. I got a lot of stuff here, so and also to kind of follow up with all the community concerns too. So I'll do my best. Couple things. Wahiawa District Park pool heater. Yeah, they were supposed to have installed it October. For whatever reason, every time the vendor went out, they always encountered additional issues, et cetera, et cetera. As far as I'm concerned, they were supposed to have been back out there this morning. Councilmember and I were out there for the Rainbow Seniors meeting, but I did not see the vendor at that time. So whether or not they were able to make it out there, I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have to say probably not. Or if they did, they probably encountered yet another issue because I did not get any updates from DPR. But Councilmember definitely wants to thank the community for their ongoing patience, as well as the Department of Parks and Recreation for staying on top of this and trying to get it done. So as soon as we hear anything, we'll definitely update the community. I'm sure you guys also noticed the Wahiawa Botanical Gardens were closed for a short time for the treatment of the CRBs. There was about 60 to 80 trees near walking paths. Arborists removed about a dozen damaged palms and treated several others. The city does have plans to replant the affected areas with a variety of tree species. Also about CRBs, last month, December, Royal Palm Drive and Kellogg Street did get the most recent CRB treatment from Duff. So thank you to Duff for constantly staying on top of this as well. California Ave crosswalks and repaving project. There's resurfacing work that is scheduled for California Ave by DFM, Department of Facility Maintenance, for sometime early this year. So once that is done, the resurfacing is done, restriping of the crosswalks will take place after that. Councilmember wanted to thank the neighborhood board, as well as Mayor's Office of Economic Revitalization, Wahiawa Fresh, as well as the Wahiawa Value Added Product Development Center for putting on the Taste of Town Wahiawa. Councilmember was proud to support and attend the amazing event, which highlights our local talent and creativity of Wahiawa businesses. Also, I'm sure some of you saw Mount Ka'ala Gondola Project. DPP held a public hearing on January 12th, a couple weeks ago. This is a reconsideration of their current conditional use permit. The reconsideration is based on new information that was not available at the time of the original approval. DPP had asked for an extension of time, but that would be to no more than 60 days. I have not heard back to see whether or not the developer has agreed to that or not. Following up from, I guess that would be November's meeting, board member Sylvia had asked about having some of the trees on Dole Road inspected. Last month, Duff Arborist inspected 9 city trees on the road. They determined that the trees are adequately maintained, the canopies are high, and no branches appear to pose any immediate public safety concerns. So maintenance is not warranted at this time. Let's see, it says these trees were included as part of a tree maintenance contract that was last done on June 26th of last year. The remaining trees on Dole Road are located on private property, and therefore it's the responsibility of the private property owners. They further went on to say that the trees that are on the Mackay side of the road between California Ave and Eames are private. Also, Helimano Elementary, definitely want to give a shout out to DTS for finally getting those speed humps installed in front of the elementary. So definitely hoping that that will kind of help curtail the speeding that's been going on there for years. This is something I was working on with Councilmember Tsuneyoshi. So yeah, definitely happy with that. Let's see, also wanted to give a shout out to the Army. Myself, along with HPD and some Army representatives, are looking to address the homeless situation going on the military property. No timeline has been set for any cleanup, but the military is working on getting it, trying to set something up. Also want to thank Kealoha West, KWO, for coming out, as well as for the point in time count. I've seen some of them here today at the district park, working on that. All right, I think that's it for my report. Couple things that came up earlier in this meeting, in no particular order, about the city to maintain the sidewalks and walkways. Yeah, so that was a meeting that DTS had put on back in September, September 9th of last year. I do have information that I'll put in the chat. It includes their email address, a phone number, and as well as a link to the Complete Streets website. So you can go ahead and put in any of your suggestions or comments, whatnot there. Let's see. The Olive Ojai, I don't know, I guess that's a repair shop or whatever. Yeah, I've been working on this with HPD since last year. I guess the issue is with the business owner. He gets into compliance, and then, you know, because HPD can't be there 24 hours a day, I guess he kind of gets lax. And then because I seen it, yeah, he started parking up, like I think it's like 2 or 3 deep on the sidewalk. So I will go ahead and follow up with HPD again, because he is aware of it. He also saw it. Also, just to let you know, DTS is working, you know, on doing the repaving and the restriping, but that's not going to be for a while. So we'll just have to stay on top of this with HPD to do the enforcement for now. As far as Olive Ave enforcement, I think it was the same lady that brought it up. I mean, if it's just the parking, I can definitely go ahead and send that out as well, because there is no parking allowed on unimproved or improved sidewalks. I think it's also the same lady. Milikana Street is private. Regarding the trash pickup, if this is where I'm thinking she's talking about, yeah, unfortunately that area has been an issue since the previous council members' time. So I can go ahead and follow up with that as well. I'm not sure about when the last trash pickup was left behind, but yeah, you need to call HPD to get that car addressed, because yeah, that's a big issue down there. As well as Palm Street walkways. Palm Street is privately owned, so that would need to be addressed with the private property owner to get sidewalks implemented if that's what they want. And I think that is it. If anyone has any questions for council member, I can take them back.
Thank you, Kelly. That was a great report. That's a lot. Thank you for doing so much for us.
Well, the report was actually really short, but there was a whole bunch of stuff that came up before my report that I do have information on. So
thank you. Thank you. I'm going to ask
Yeah.
my board members if they have any questions for council member's office. Yeah, go ahead, TJ.
Aloha, Kelly. Happy New Year.
Same to you.
Thank you. Do you know when or if the Honu project is going to be coming back to our area?
No, I don't. I did speak to I'm sorry, I don't know what his title is, but Roy Miyahiro. So they actually just went to another part of council member's district out in Wahiawā. I did ask him about possibly bringing it to the North Shore because well, like Wahiawā, I mean, there's a massive influx of homeless out there as well. He was open to hearing what I had to say. However, he already had in his mind that he's looking at Wahiawā. Where he wants to put it, that's all still up for, I guess, finalization. So if
Do we
anything,
know
I
when
would
that is?
probably in
Like
about 3
summertime?
months. I
Oh, okay.
believe, yeah, so Honu went to Waipahu, I believe, December.
Yes, it's
So
in Waipahu currently.
yeah, so they're staying for an extended amount of time this time around, not like during COVID. So I believe 3 months is the I guess maybe the standard.
Correct. Okay,
I
well,
did
we look
also ask if he would be willing to maybe have multiple Honu running at the same time, but you know, there's just not enough staffing to have two sites going at the same time, like during COVID. So
right. Well, hopefully by the next meeting, Roy will have more information about when and if they're bringing this back to Wahiawā, because it was a needed service, and a lot of the churches in the area were able to kokua with meals for the residents that were there. So thanks for
right.
sharing, and we look forward to next month's
No problem.
update.
And also, I did mention to Roy that, you know, generally the way that Honu works is that they go in rotation through the different districts. As I'm sure you guys all know, I mean, we only had it during Heidi's time, and we passed up a few of our turns during Councilmember Wyer's time. So I think we're definitely due for a site in our district.
Thank you. And do you have any update on the Mango Street property, the blue building?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't get back to you on that. You know, so you might want to follow up with the state representatives, maybe Rep. Peruso or probably Senator De La Cruz. That was state grant money that was used for that. So yeah, I do not have any updates on that. I know that I talked to HP about it the other day. I know you mentioned there were two homeless individuals in there. One of them got arrested. I think he had like an outstanding warrant or whatever. But as far as the other one, yeah, it's still under private property ownership. So he would still need to be trespassed.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, because I did actually happen to be walking by that building last week, Saturday, and there were people coming out of that building like they live there. And I know that they are not supposed to be living there. So
Yeah.
we'll ask Representative Peruso and Senator De La Cruz if they can provide an update for us. Thank you.
Any other, yes, June?
Hi, Kelly. Is the old Kastner Ford property across from McNair Gate outside of Schofield still being considered for some kind of homeless housing?
I'm sorry,
Or
what property is that?
the property on Willikina Drive that's across from McNair Gate, the last gate just before the dump.
And if I could help you out, Kelly, that land actually belongs to ADC.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That used to
Councilmember
be
and I.
Cassie Ford.
Is that still being considered?
I believe it is, but you know, it's not city
It's
property.
hard.
So I
It's
mean,
hard.
yeah, I mean, there's
just
like a lot.
That's why
more-
I just wanted
yeah.
to know if it was still being considered. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions from the board members? Okay, from the community for council member's office? No. And virtually, any questions for council member's office? No. Did someone have a question for? Yes, I just saw a hand. Hi. Did you have a question for a council member's office? I see your hand.
Yes.
Okay, if you could introduce yourself and your question. Can you hear us? We can't hear you. Can you hear us?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. This is Alessia. Um, Just four things. First, the street sign at Calico is the wrong sign. Where Calico ends, it says begin. So I think the signs need to be switched out. Okay. Then the sign at Hale Ho'okipa of what the rules are was taken down. I'm not sure why it was taken down, but I think another sign needs to be put up because in that area people don't know what the rules are. But I'd also like to suggest that the rules also include no camping because some people have been camping out around that area.
Okay.
Hi, Alicia. I'm going to repeat just to make sure I got your questions. So you notified us that the street sign at Calico, where it ends, it should actually say it begins. Is that correct?
There's a sign that says it begins where it's supposed to end.
And yes. Okay, so we got that. The second one is the signage at Haleho'okipa was taken down. So was there, you mean the signage that indicates that location is gone, or was it like a poster, or what was it?
It was a park sign.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then also you want
And
a sign that says no
Mhm.
camping to be placed up there.
be added to what the rules are.
Added to the current sign that has about 5 or 6 rules on that sign.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Alicia, I'll work with
And
council member's office on that.
there. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Also, it brought to my attention that the trash area right outside your meeting room is supposed to be for people who use the park to throw their trash away. But it was told to me that after park hours, people are dumping all kinds of things, large items and things that shouldn't be there. So if there's a way to remedy that, that would be wonderful. And the final thing that I wanted to bring up is where Reynolds Recycling is. Some people have a hard time bringing the recycling there because there's Mike's Huli Huli Chicken that rotisseries in the park, and some people are in the parking lot, and some people cannot tolerate the smoke. Some people are allergic, and some other people have a hard time breathing. So I was wondering if something can be done about that.
About the
Okay.
smoke?
Oh, I
About
think what go ahead, Alicia. You can finish it up. Go ahead.
If there's a way to find out if Ray's is there every day, because some people have tried contacting them and they don't answer the phone or respond to phone calls.
Okay, I'll work with council member's office, but let me just repeat so we have everything. So
Mhm.
your question about the trash that's outside of the meeting room, there is a gated area, but there's no cover to it because this issue came up many times.
Yeah.
So people can keep continuing to throw their trash in there. So the city parks needs to get their maintenance to make a cover or something for that receptacle there that people are throwing their trash in. That was raised many times last year and the year before. So the suggestion was to weld a cover over it, but that hasn't happened. So we can bring that up again. I'll work with council member's office on that. The other thing you
Would that have
mentioned
to be?
is that
I'm sorry. Just a question. Would that have to be maintenance or somewhere in another city department that would make the cover?
well, it depends because if they have to weld together something, then that wouldn't be maintenance. That would be the different department in the Department of Parks and
Right.
Recreation. So you know,
Mhm.
that request was made several times, like I said, over the past at least couple of years, and it was just
Right.
a suggestion, doesn't mean that they were going to do it. But
Right.
the couple of people that I met with, the idea was, well, maybe if they put a cover of it, then nobody can throw anything else in there. But you know,
Mhm.
so again, we can follow up on that. The other thing is the Reynolds recycling of the trash. I guess we can try to reach out to Ray's and see if they have a permit to be in that area, because usually the lunch wagons have to have a permit to be at a certain location. So perhaps in the next week or so, we can find out what their status is, what their permit allows, where the permit allows them to be. And then we can get back
Mhm.
to you for next month's meeting.
Thank you so much.
Yep,
Appreciate
you're
it.
welcome, Lisa. Okay, no problem.
All right.
Okay, I think we're done for you for now, Kelly.
Okay.
Okay. If you don't mind, I'll give you a call tomorrow, tomorrow or the next day, if you don't
Okay.
mind, to go over some.
Yeah, I'm actually going to a meeting at 8:30 tomorrow morning, and then I have a neighborhood board tomorrow night. So
Oh, okay. Well, maybe the next day. I'll give you a
maybe
call.
Thursday. I'll be good Thursday.
I'll give you a day off. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, nice to see
Okay.
you and Happy New Year.
Same
Okay.
to you.
Okay, we're gonna move on to Governor Green's office. Is Rosemary there? Here? Rosemary? Yeah. Okay. Okay, moving on to Senator's office. Malachi, are you here?
I'm here, Chair.
Hi.
Hi, Charles Miller here from Senator De La Cruz's
Charles, I'm sorry.
office. No worries at all. Good evening, board and Chair. I'll start off by saying Senator spoke at the Hawaii Food System Summit at the Value Add Center, and then the Royal Palm Drive, the Honolulu Division of Urban Forestry conducted treatments the first week of December, with the next treatment to be scheduled in March. And then there's been discussion about 123 Mango Street. So the property has not been sold, but the owner was able to reacquire the property. Alea Bridge is in the process of dissolvement, and then once that's finished, they plan to sell the property. And then DOT is actually doing the Whitmore sidewalk improvement. There's been delays because of the design work with the consultant, but DOT updated us 2 weeks ago saying that it was going to start back up on January 20th, that Tuesday, but it sounds like it hasn't started yet. So I'll reach out to DOT again. And then regarding the ADC lands on Willakina, there are plans, early plans in development for a cow holiday there. And then opening day was on Wednesday, January 21st, with Senator De La Cruz's top priorities being biosecurity, agriculture, workforce development, and regional economic development. And then the Ways and Means Committee has been conducting budget info briefings for the last month. Thank you, Chair.
Before we ask, can you just repeat to me the report on the 123 Mango and the DOT, and then I'll open it to my.
Yes, of course. So 123 Mango Street, the property has not been sold. There's been Senator's office has been calls about the property being sold. The owner was able just to reacquire the property. And then Alea Bridge is in the process of dissolvement, and then they plan to sell it once all of that's finished. And then the Whitmore sidewalk improvements were delayed. DOT reached out to Senator's office telling us that it was going to be started back up on Tuesday, January 20th. The delays were because of design work with the consultant.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Board members, go ahead.
Hi, Charles. Happy New Year. It's TJ. Hey, Charles. So you know that 123 Mango, is that Alea Bridge or Achieve Zero that owns it? Because my understanding is that Alea Bridge is no longer in existence and it has dissolved.
Yes. So I got an update in mid-December, and it was still in the works. Did you hear something different?
No. Who is the owner? Is it Alea Bridge or Achieve Zero?
We were told it was Alea Bridge.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we look forward to your updates about that. Because like I said, we have had not only myself, but other community members have recently witnessed people living in that building. So if there's a way that they can secure their property, it would be really helpful to the area residents and as well as community members because you know, we do support the local business across the street and also that raise huli huli chicken. So it would be good if they could secure the property. And then I had one more question, and it had to do with the senator expressing his opposition to pausing the recent income tax cuts, and even temporarily, despite clear evidence that the largest benefits flowed to the highest income households. So if you could have him explain why protecting tax reductions for those already doing very well is a higher priority than stabilizing the funding for public schools, healthcare, and safety net services that working families, which a lot of our Wahiawā and Whitmore community are, they rely on these things. And I actually had to write this down because it was such a complex, it's such a complex question because, you know, again, it seems like the senator is protecting tax reductions for those that are doing really, really well, and that is a higher priority than stabilizing funding for public schools, healthcare, and our safety net services that are really, really needed in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll get back to you on that one.
Appreciate it.
Okay, any other questions on board? Yes, June?
I should address, this actually should have gone to the governor's office, but we don't have a representative tonight. So I'm going to ask it of the senator's office to see if there actually is coordination on the gates being closed and the state coordinating either, I won't say shut down, but maybe somehow coordinating the traffic lights outside of the closed gates. So it won't just stop everybody and nobody's coming out or going in. Is that possible for the senator to do?
Yeah, I can communicate with DOT on that because from further prior conversations in this board meeting, it's a state issue, correct?
Yeah, I don't know if there is ongoing communication between the Army and the state, but there should be. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can find out.
Okay, any other questions from the board? Virtually, board member, any questions? Okay, the community, any questions? Yes, please go introduce yourself and go at it. I don't know. Okay, go at it.
Aloha, Nani Brown here. So I'm actually kind of piggybacking on what Vice Chair TJ was asking because you know, I'm wondering, and I have a community members that are also curious how we're going to make up for the federal cuts that are coming. And what we're hearing is that people, including the senator, intend to make up for the federal cuts by being more efficient. Can you provide a detailed analysis of how we can suddenly be $1.6 billion more efficient when he has been chair of the Ways and Means for a decade or so? It seems a little odd that all of a sudden now we can be more efficient.
Yes, I can bring that question back to the office and get back to you. That's what I can do on that one.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions from the community? Questions virtually, anyone? Okay, Charles, I think we're good for now. We'll keep in touch.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to Representative Peruso's office.
Hi, I'm back. Again, the Whitmore Village septage receiving station. I did want to point out we Yvonne had included some information about that in our November newsletter. So I would also highly encourage folks to read our newsletter, subscribe to it, and you'll get great updates because Yvonne does a really good job of including a lot of community events and information for the community. It's not just me ranting about legislative stuff. So, so I hope to be able to share more information about that, and we can hopefully do some problem solving around that. Opening day, I want to say that Speaker Nakamura shouted out the Wahiawā community and our disaster preparedness work. We are actually doing something that is a model for the whole state with our neighborhood coordinators and trying to connect folks through walkie-talkies and basically setting up neighborhood teams. And we're seeing, you know, around the country, the importance of neighbor-to-neighbor relationships and really fostering the kind of community that our neighborhood board really tries to support. So really diving down into the micro community level. So I want to encourage us to continue to do that work. And if you're interested in doing that work, please reach out to our office. The other thing I'll say about the beginning of session is now, as part of leadership, we're deeply involved in the process of bill referrals. So, and we're already starting to have hearings. We're going to have our first hearings on Thursday. And I think that I'll share more in my newsletter and get into more detail for people who are interested in that kind of thing. But overall, the real focus that I'm seeing in bill referrals, because I can see the wider swath of bills being introduced in the House, is real attention to support for those who are most vulnerable, and multiple ideas about how to address our social services weaknesses and our, for example, the continuum of care you folks have been talking about around the homelessness, and how can we create an actual continuum of care. So I would say that the bill referrals and what I'm seeing in that process kind of mirrors the questions that were asked in our finance info briefings, real questions about how we can do more with what we have, but then also how we can think differently about how we govern. So I think it's going to be a really challenging session. I'm really proud to be part of this House because I think they share the values of this community. So I'm available for questions. I know that was really like vague and overarching, but I'm thinking there might be questions from the community.
Thank you, Representative. And you're right. I'm sure we have questions. Open to our board members. Any questions for Representative? Oh, I'm wrong.
Actually, Rep, I don't have a question, but I have a compliment. And thanks to your office and your staff. So on December 20th, if I'm not mistaken, it was a rainy, windy, and wet day in Wahiawā, but Rep Peruso and her great staff and volunteers, including the general contractors that are working on the Wahiawā Library project area and also the Wahiawā Civic Center. They came out in the rain, and we also reached out to Foodland, and Foodland donated 100 reusable grocery bags. But with all the volunteers there, we were able to share food with our community. And thanks to Ka'ala Elementary School, because they opened up the parking lot area, and it was a great way to start off the holidays. So Rep, thank you for your foresight to see that, especially with the government shutdown just kind of opening up. So thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. And thanks for being out there in the rain with us.
My pleasure. I wanted to mention we are really lucky to have in our community at both Ka'ala Elementary and at Wahiawā Middle some really amazing PCNCs. Those are the parent community connector people. And they are creating food pantries for the kids and their families. And it was really those folks at Ka'ala and from Wahiawā Middle, the same kinds of PCNCs came to help. And it was honestly such a well-attended event. I was really grateful, but then I also want to point to the fact that this new development at Ka'ala Elementary and at Wahiawā Middle is really the result of the school leadership there, so the new principals. And I think we owe them a debt of gratitude because now those families get more sustenance and more kind of wraparound support when they need it. So
That's great news. Thank you very much for that. Any other questions for Representative? June, was that a hand? Oh, no? Okay.
Okay.
All right, Representative. Oh,
you.
yeah, we're good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, we're in our board business section, item 8. So we are looking at the approval of minutes for regular meeting of Monday, November 27th, 2025. Open for discussion. Yeah, go ahead.
For the record, but prior to the meeting starting, board member Yamamoto shared a few amendments to the minutes. So just for the record, those were to the dates on the page headers following the first page, the board member attendance, and the correction of elected officials' names, as well as clarifying state senate district, and House rep districts, just for clarity for the meeting, for the minutes. Just wanted to make sure that was on the record that these minutes are being adopted with amendments.
Did you want to just read out or do it now? Yeah, why don't you just read out and we'll just mark it on our.
Okay, so for the board member attendance, that needs to be corrected. The of who was present, who was absent. Oh yes.
Yeah.
The attendance had board member Yamamoto present. He was not present at that meeting. The header from the second page to the end of the minutes says October 20th. That is going to be changed to reflect the November 17th date. The city council district number was logged incorrectly, and the Senator De La Cruz's district was marked incorrectly. So those numbers will be corrected as well, and those are all the amendments.
Very good. All board members clear on that? Okay. Open for discussion?
Chair, may I make a motion to accept the minutes with the amendments?
Yes, we can move forward on that. We have a motion to accept the minutes with the corrections that were just stated a minute ago. Open for discussion? Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, do we have a second?
Second, I second that motion.
We have to go virtually, we have to check with virtually, board members virtually, any comment for the vote?
No, I'm good.
Okay, we'll take the vote. All in favor of accepting the minutes of November 17th, 2025 with the corrections as listed at today's meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any opposed? Oh, and I said Yvonne's hand was up. It was on the corner, in the corner. Oh, okay. Okay, so we can move on to our next agenda item, sorry. Okay, moving on to chair's report and board actions. At this point, do we have any disclosures by board members for attending any meetings or events that we should be aware of? Nothing here. Virtually, Sylvia?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any correspondence and distribution that we should have received? Well, we know we didn't get one. Gotta keep rubbing that in. Okay, moving on. So no correspondence received, but we did have a lot of requests at this meeting, so we will be following up on that, on many of those issues actually. Okay, item 8C, committee reports, education. Erin.
I just wanted to give a friendly reminder to students and parents that school attendance is really important. Ever since COVID, we really haven't rebounded to the numbers. So currently, well, for last year's data, looking at that, the school year for Lelehua High School as an example. So the way it's reported is like what percent attended 90% of the time. So 83% of the students attended. So that means, right, so there was a chunk of students not attending on time. And that makes a difference. Like every day that you attend, you have substantially more learning. And Wahiawā Middle, although it's seeing an increase in attendance, it's still at 75% are attending 90% of the time. So that means 25% of the students are not attending at 90% of the time. That's a lot of numbers thrown at you. But just my message is just how important it is as a teacher to have your students in the classroom, how much learning happens, and it's just important to attend school.
Is that, I'm just a quick question, is that in general, or is that because the child is sick or out or parents are
So
traveling?
it doesn't
I mean, just
report
wondering what
the reason why, but it's an island-wide and actually nationwide kind of situation where since COVID, really the absenteeism has remained high.
Oh.
It's just sort of the mindset of, you know, good practice. If you're sick, please stay home. But then it's sort of been like, we see trends where some students might not come every Friday kind of thing, right? And there's just depending on the students and family, or, you know, and there's real needs where there's childcare needs, where siblings are acting as
Right, that's what I-
caregivers.
yeah.
There's all sorts of things, but just as a community prioritizing, sending our children to school and students being accountable for themselves and wanting to go to school.
Well, we definitely want them to get an education and do the best they can. So thank you for that. Maybe everyone, if you're aware of neighbors, children, Keiki not going to school, maybe just neighborly check on how they're doing, maybe, or something, just so they have a chance, you know, as they grow up. Okay, and we have Ethan, one of our board members. He had a question.
More a comment. I just wanted to concur regarding the issue of student attendance as an educator in Wahiawā myself, specifically at Wheeler Middle. While we do have a proportion of our student body that are local students, many of our military students similarly don't attend classes regularly as they should. And I believe it's gotten worse since the COVID pandemic. And I just wanted to emphasize that fact from the perspective of someone who has, you know, boots on the ground in the classroom and, you know, regularly sees frequent absenteeism. So I just wanted to share that perspective.
Thank you very much. Adding that in my notes with Aaron's report. That's a concern for, you know, all of our community. Okay. Anything else to report?
Got
Oh,
a
I'm sorry,
question
June.
on
Go
Aaron's
ahead, June.
report. Concerning the military children not attending regularly, can that be addressed through the division commander, where he could emphasize attendance at school a little more diligently or something to be worked out?
So in Infinite Campus, there are reports that get sent home to parents. So parents are notified when their child is not attending or the guardian is notified. So parents receive those reports, and it is kind of publicly posted in annual reports, but certainly, like, you know, all hands on deck kind of scenario.
Yeah, like I said, you know, because if the division commander emphasizes it, I mean, the military people, they gotta listen. That's what I'm saying.
Can I add something to that, please?
Stand by, Sylvia. We have someone at the mic right now. Stand by.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hi,
Sorry.
I'm Carrie Anduja, and I also work for the DOE. I'm a school health nurse on base on Wheeler. And so I'm gonna have to say this year, it's a lot of students are sick. I'm gonna tell you, we have it. I've been having it year round. And this one was pretty bad. This one is pretty bad. I mean, we have several things happening. And some come with one or two, they're okay, and then they get something else. So just letting you guys know, being in the medical field, we have all kind of stuff's happening. So kids are sick, including my son. You know, he has asthma too. So when he is sick, he'll have to stay home. Yeah.
Thank you, Carrie. That's good information for both of our board members. So hopefully that maybe you can relay that to your school principals and stuff. Okay. Any other question on this? Are we good?
Can I make a comment?
I'm sorry, Sylvia. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sylvia. I apologize.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. I just want to make a brief comment regarding attendance. You know, before we look at calling commanders and being confrontative. I know the schools are doing a lot within each school itself on trying to incentivize attendance and trying to make learning fun. And I think we need to look at more positive interventions as opposed to being intrusive or aversive. Yeah, just a comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. Any comment from, yeah, Erin's nodding her head. She said it sounds like a good idea. Ethan, any comment on that?
I believe that the schools, at least my school site, but I'm sure it's inherent to the other schools in Wahiawā and Hilo. We do emphasize creating curriculum that is enticing and of interest to the students, but that, still hasn't seemed to address some of our concerns with attendance being a common issue. But I appreciate, the suggestion.
Okay.
It's a multifaceted problem, and it's multi-pronged. It's going to take everybody in the community. It's not just parents. It's not just the students. It's not just the school. We all have to work together in a collaborative effort. And it's not just making school fun or exciting. There's so many things that our kids have to go through now. Look at what's happening in our world. We just have to try our best to work together collaboratively and communicate with each other. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Thank you, all of you, for your knowledge and your, your work with our children. So thank you very much for all of you. Okay, we're going to move on to our item number 2, which is military. June, any report?
The 25th Division Soldier Support Center and Retirement Center people put on a retirement fair or appreciation day on last Saturday. It was supposed to have been earlier from what I understand, but because of the government shutdown, they couldn't do it earlier, so they held it just last Saturday. And if you're a retiree, they do it annually, I believe, and it's quite helpful for retirees anyway. So I'm a retiree. I was there, but I attended as a personal thing, not as a board member. So just to let the community know.
Okay. Thank you, June, and thank you for your service as well. And Joe Francher, our transportation committee chair, is not here. He was here earlier but needed to leave. So moving on to our item 4, which is our water report, and Yvonne is going to be doing that report for us at our next meeting. She has a report ready, and so we'll do that in February. And Hawaiian Affairs, TJ and Ethan, you're both here. Anything to report? No update?
Unless Ethan has something.
Ethan, any update? Any report?
No updates at this time.
Okay, great. Okay, then we're coming to around the corner. So our announcements for the board meetings, our next Wahiawā-Whitmore Village Neighborhood Board number 26 meeting will be held on Monday, February 23rd, 2026 at Whitmore Village Community Park due to the President's Day holiday, which is on February 16th. So please check your website for any updates, but keep in mind, next month is February 23rd at Whitmore. Information of contacts for any of you. City Streets Pothole Hotline, 808-768-7777. State Streets Pothole Hotline, 808-536-7652. I'm sorry. 7852. I'm so sorry. I'm going to repeat that. State Streets Pothole Hotline, 808-536-7852. Hart Maintained Roads Pothole Hotline, 808-566-2299. City's Refuge Inspector's Office, 808-768-5220. And Schofield Noise Complaints, 808-656-3487. Email is usaghi.comrel@gmail.com. And our message to you tonight is aloha to everyone. Welcome back. We're in the new year of 2026, and we're looking forward to seeing you, working with you, and helping to keep our town of Wahiawā and Whitmore Village our home sweet home. So mahalo everyone for being here, and that we are adjourned. Thank you.